Hello guys, and welcome back to our Minecraft survival single player world. We're taking a look at the house from a different angle right now, because I have been clearing this little hill here. I decided between episodes here that I'm actually going to drop our iron farm here, and then we're going to do a little pit style, so it's going to be underground. I'll make sure there's no cave spots available for the iron golems to spawn, which I believe this area should be fairly clear. Might look natural. Let's do this. What's that? Something like that. Anyways, we're going to put a little blacksmith shop over it, which kind of makes sense proximity-wise. If we're going to dig a lot of this out into a quarry, you would definitely want to have a blacksmith nearby the quarry site for crafting tools and, little bits and bobs, support braces, things like that. So I think that having a little blacksmith on that hill is going to be the right call. I also brought over a couple of extra villagers. I'm not going to need all of them, but I'm going to need 3 of them. So I've currently got 4 in here, just in case. And they're safely tucked away down there in boats. A couple other things that I got done between episodes here. We now have a proper enclosure here and a tunnel down, which doesn't even have to go that far. And right there we are here. So I've got to move this stuff still at some point. I'll probably remove this door, replace this with smooth stone, and just put this stuff right along this wall as just a little storage workshop or workspace cubby. And then we still need to explore our... it's not that turn, it's the next one. We still need to explore into our mine shaft. We'll do that at some point. But during the last episode, I mentioned that I was digging out to make a mob farm or a mob grinder out of our zombie spawner. Actually, before we get there, let's just save everyone's ears for just a minute. We're going to drop this way down, because otherwise this is going to be very loud. And I can turn that back up later when I need it. It's good to hear stuff coming, but we don't need that right now. So down here, mind your head. I got to dig this out to be a little bit more of a friendly staircase so I'm not constantly smashing my forehead, but right here where it narrows, we can kind of poke in and see. There's our spawner. You can hear our friends inside. And if we come down here, we have the drop space. If I stand right here in this corner, I'm close enough to activate that. Those zombies are going to come along here. There's a little bubble column. I popped into the nether briefly and got some soul sand. I also got like 12 stacks of netherrack and not a single piece of quartz. So we're going to have to do some more nether adventuring soon. But I'll show you our nether spawn in a minute. But they shoot up there about 24 blocks, go across, drop down, and land here. And they take 2 punches to kill, but if I drop them another half block, they just die immediately. So it's about as effective as it's going to get. It's also the reason that I got up to level 30 here. But as you can see, 2 punches, they're down. Hey, and we got a potato. Fantastic. That's actually one of the reasons that I wanted to set this up anyways. So, you know what? You guys are my lucky charm, apparently, because I killed so many zombies here and did not get a carrot or potato. I bring you guys in, and the first zombie along has a potato, so thanks. Anyways, that's kind of the between episodes update. I did find a couple more diamonds. It was a vein of, I believe, 8, so I have those up in the chest upstairs. And we'll take a quick look at our nether spawn before we get to work on getting our iron golem farm together. That's really the big holdup before we can get into kind of deeper parts of the game right now, is having reliable, consistent iron. We do have villager breeding now, though, so we can also start getting some bespoke trades going, get our mending books and stuff like that, so we can have some permanent equipment, and then we can start enchanting some diamond stuff. Though we have nowhere near enough diamonds for a full set of anything yet, so that's one we'll have to come back to. I also need to get on the hunt for a zombie who can pick items up. Since I haven't encountered any name tags yet, that's going to be the easiest way to get our iron farm going. Loud portal noises. Put a little safety shack around our spawn here. Dang. Anyways. That portal is a little loud. We had a skeleton right outside here, but we spawned... Not a great spawn. We did have one of those, skeletons nearby, the big bone structures, so I get some bone blocks from that. We'll use those for farming soon. But we're on a bit of an inconvenient island here. It's going to be a little bit hard to get down anywhere, and I'll show you where I went digging for quartz as well. I'm having a hard time thinking words right now. So, we dug through all of here. And we can keep digging down, see if we can encounter some quartz. I just need some for a couple of observers to get some farms going, but it is not being friendly right now. Also, comparators, stuff like that. I'll probably keep digging down in here as we go, just to see if I can get a hold of some easy quartz, but if not, we may actually need to travel out to further parts of the Nether here and find somewhere a little more hospitable for the material gathering we need to do. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and... that's so loud. For now, we're going to go ahead and get back to the overworld and just try and get iron, you know, in process at least. I'll spend some time trying to catch a zombie who can carry things in a boat. See if I can get that part done at least. And then once we have that, I'll start getting the pit dug out and bring you guys in for some updates from there. I think we have some uninvited guests. You know, really rude for them to just stop by uninvited like that. like to think I'm normally a pretty hospitable guest, but that was just rude. Let's see, we got a new spooky banner. We got an ominous bottle for when we decide we want to do a raid. Ooh, Bad Omen 3. Nice, okay. And we got a crossbow, so, ooh, we got a pillager head. Nice. Speaking of pillager head, so I installed a few of the vanilla tweaks data packs just to make my life a little bit easier. It allows me to disable Enderman griefing specifically without preventing any other mob griefing, so when creepers blow up like one did back over here earlier. So step out on the porch for 1 minute. That was embarrassing. Anyways. Probably should have been a lot smarter about that. I wasn't. It is what it is. Anything else? Looks like everything. I'll double check everything later, but creepers still can explode, so their griefing is still on, but I was able to turn off Enderman griefing specifically, so I don't have to worry about Enderman picking up blocks and placing them everywhere and just making a mess. Let's see, I added in, obviously, the additional mob heads, which let me get a nice pillager head, which is great. I added in the mini blocks and a few other things. Nothing that's going to change gameplay, really. Just stuff that's going to be quality of life improvements for me. As for what I've gotten done since the last update, obviously I cleared out all of our trees here, so we don't have to worry about that. I put in a little farm back here. I'm going to work on hopefully breeding and relocating some bees here soon. But this is just to feed our sheep and cows over there and obviously get more potatoes since we only got the one. So I'll be keeping an eye on this, expanding it out. I kind of dug out all of the podzol that was created when we set up our large spruce trees, and I just kind of, I don't know, looks like a semi-natural kind of inlet here anyway, so I might leave it alone unless I decide to build something here, in which case I'll fill it in later. But what I want to put here where I've got the bees is like a greenhouse. Have some of our plants, some of our farms, have a little side wing for an apiary for... That's the right term, right? Apiary? For beekeeping. And then obviously the quarry over here. Haven't made any progress yet on the iron farm. That's coming next. I was just trying to get a little bit of cleanup done before I moved on. So hopefully, if I don't have any more rude interruptions, we will have some more progress and some more updates soon. And I think I will just... that right there. Consider it the equivalent of a no soliciting sign. I might move it. I don't love it there. We'll see. Anyways, I'll bring you back in when I have an update. Alright, guys, time for a little bit of like a good news, bad news type situation. The good news is, we've got a working iron farm. Bad news is, I don't have enough iron to make the hopper to collect the iron. So, down here, we've got a zombie holding a piece of string, so he won't despawn. Under here, we have a little room with 3 villagers and 3 beds. Open floor. I'm gonna stay right here. So when he dies, hopefully we'll pick up his iron. Success. Perfect. think I had 2 back at the house. I think. And if I'm right, then we are done and we have a working iron farm. And then what I'll need to do is one of the other things that I got from the data packs, only one more, dang. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to spend some time waiting for golems to die. But one of the other things that I added was the silence me name tags. So we can get a name tag, name it silence me, and then silence mobs. So I can silence at least the zombie and the villagers downstairs. That said, with all of the noise the iron golem makes, does it really make that much of a difference? Probably not. Let's do that. Do that. Toss those for now, and... Aha! Perfect. So now, once this guy dies, we're going to back away so he's not quite as loud anymore. And as you can see, he's more than far enough from the house, if we can barely hear him here, that we're not going to hear him at all from the house. But I believe they will spawn from the house. I think we're close enough. We're going to find out by going out on the little balcony here and just watching for a couple minutes. But the spawn rate is honestly pretty decent, so eventually I'll have to make some auto crafters and get it to make it into pre-made blocks, do something with all of the flowers, but... Sorry, quick drink of tea. Oh, yep, works perfectly from the house. So, we now have Iron Farm that's going to run within our range, and it may be close enough to spawn to be part of the spawn chunk, since spawn was just over this hill over here. I'll have to double check. But either way, it'll run when we're at the house, when we're around the house, when we're doing our farming. As you can see, we've got some imposters in the cow field. We'll deal with them later. I killed a bunch of the sheep so that we could have some more food. But that is huge, huge progress for this episode already. We've got a working iron farm. We've got a working experience farm. We've got a cow farm, so we should be able to gather up enough leather over time to get our enchanting room up there finished. So I think the next thing that we really need to start gearing towards is handling some exterior detailing, because from this side, the tower and the house both are a little bland, other than this kind of detailed out lower story. I also want to put a little bit of like an extension off here as a stable, so build a little bit of like a smaller roof off this section, have some posts up, some fences around, because I've got a couple saddles, and I know I've seen some horses on the hills around here, so there's no reason we couldn't just go find a horse and then hopefully find one that's decently fast. With the trees that we've removed, I'm going to work on finding a new place for a tree farm that's just not in view. Because with like the mangrove trees and the jungle trees and stuff, they're very large. There's a nice little valley off the other side of this hill that might work great. Another iron golem. We'll take a look at that real quick. And eventually I would like to automate sheep, but that involves having a good supply of shears. I need to get quartz, which the Nether just doesn't seem to want to give me right now. There's several things that I have to kind of have in place so that I can get those guys automated, but then I can get one sheep of each color feeding automatically into chests and never have to think about wool again, which is nice. I think maybe down back in this little like valley area, there's a little bit of a kind of clear flat spot down there. If I use that area for my tree farm, I can cut a tunnel through and have kind of quick access, but have it out of the way so I don't have to see it in kind of the town area we're building. Maybe build a little lumberjack shack right next to the tunnel. For, you know, immersion and world building reasons. And the tunnel, of course, is going to need to look at least decent. But we'll cross that bridge soon enough. Be a pretty long tunnel, too. We'd pretty much be looking about maybe where our animal pens are, somewhere back in here. Or maybe just up on this hill, building the lumberjack shack. And then cutting the tunnel through. So, something to think about. Obviously, I need to do the blacksmith over here when I get a chance. Also, occasionally, mobs will try to path to the golem and fall in here, so we might end up getting some bones and zombie flesh and stuff in there, too. Anyways, I'm going to keep poking around, keep getting a little bit more work done, and hopefully when I have something interesting to share, I can bring you guys back in. Alright guys, taking a quick step back just to look at some progress here. I've done some detailing on the house. I think that it's... Ooh, I'm really liking it so far. I think it's really coming along to look like something that I'm really going to be proud of by the time we're done. Now, I haven't finished detailing every side, but this seems to be our primary viewing angle, and from here, I absolutely love it. So, as you can see, I torch spammed a lot. I did some equipment upgrades. We're using all iron now. We're just carrying our diamond pick more as a, just in case. Really should just put it away, though. Got a couple of hive boxes going, and I've been breeding bees like crazy, so we are actually all full on bees now. I need to get Silk Touch so that I can pop these and put them down. Probably move them to be evenly spaced with these ones just for, you know, cleanliness sake. Been farming over here, expanding out. Now this is pretty much all just potatoes and wheat. Because I want more potatoes, I need wheat to breed the animals out there. And of course, sugarcane. Because we need a whole lot of books. I'm really going to put heavy focus right now on getting our enchanting table fully upgraded so that we don't have to worry about low-level enchantments. I want to be able to do all level 30s unless there's a good reason not to. I've been lighting up the caves around the area. There's a cave up along there that I've lit up. And I just kind of torch spammed this whole area so that around the house immediately, at least, we don't have to deal with a whole lot of mob spawns. So I'm going to go through... Oh. And I did get some chickens into here on top of a set of hoppers so that I can get eggs out. And eventually I'd like to make a auto chicken cooker. That's going to be a little bit later on. Have to get some redstone materials. Again, have to go back into the Nether and hope I can get quartz. But for the moment... Yeah, and I did these sort of upper shutter windows on these two sides of the tower. This side of the tower, you always have a stair there in the middle, so we can't put a window there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some kind of structure or some kind of like storage area or something in this little section. Kind of make it make sense. Maybe like an outdoor workshop area. But for the moment, I'm really happy with the progress. And even if we end this episode here and this is all we got done, I would still be thrilled because we got the zombie farm way down below working. We got the iron golem farm over there working. I'm going to start planning out the structure to put over it, a little blacksmith shop at some point. We've got a lot of detailing on the house done. Really, I am absolutely thrilled with the progress. I'm going to keep killing spiders so eventually I can get rid of the torches on the roof. I think it's going to help a lot. And eventually we will do some environmental lighting and get rid of the torch spam. This is just a temporary measure so that I can worry a little bit less in between clips here when I'm running around working on stuff. But that's all I've got for updates for the moment. I'm going to try and get a little bit more work done before we're through with the episode here. So I will see you guys when I have a little more to share. All right, guys, we are back. We have all of our bookcases in place, which means we can now get enchanting done. This is all loot that I got from the zombie grinder after I died to the pillagers. I had to get back up above level 30. But now all we've got to do is do some enchanting. So, efficiency 4. Just efficiency 4. That's all right. Take it. Oh, that's great. Okay. That's going to be a work pick. That's fantastic. I was really hoping to get sharpness on one of these. Take it. Okay. And I probably should have done some of the armor, but that's all right. We are all done for now. And, you know, with that said, I really like how these bookcases kind of work into the floor here. They allow us to get up to the windows, get a nice view, see our bees, our farm. This view needs something, but I think we're going to put a build up on that hill. I'm not sure what yet, and it'll kind of be more interesting that way. Like I said, we're going to do like a woodsman's shack over there, or like a lumberjack shack over there, and then a tunnel through to where we're going to be doing our tree farming. And then out here, we're going to have the quarry. We're going to have the blacksmith over there, which I think even from here, we can get the iron golem spawns. Yep, there we go. So that's kind of funny, but that'll be covered by blacksmith shop at some point. And then we're also going to have a dock out here from somewhere. In here, we're going to have the greenhouse apiary. We're going to have a little farmhouse. At some point, I'd like to set up a barn to have a better place for the animals, but, you know, that's a future project. So let's do one last quick little once-over of the changes to the outside of the house. Still haven't decided if I'm going to leave that banner there or move it or not, but off this side, we've got a couple windows, which just that change even really makes it feel more filled in, plus the overhead trim above the door and the windows there. Here we've added in a window box and a couple of windows on the upper and mid floors. We haven't really done much off this side, though we did add a little trim piece here. I'm deciding what I want to do with these sections for the tower. But speaking of the tower, we have these windows in with upper shutters, so kind of looks like they're propped open and can be closed down. We're going to put some kind of workshop space here. Oop, we're going to fall into a hole here. But we're going to put some kind of workshop space in this corner, kind of fill it in. Maybe just storage or workshop, I don't know. But we're going to do something with it to make it look a little more full. But I'm really happy with how this is coming together. We got a lot of important work done today. We got the mob grinder going. We got the iron golem farm, which means we don't have to mine for iron anymore. That's phenomenal. We got some basic farms set up. We got our enchanting table done, and the house is looking leagues better. So I think we're in a pretty good place to call it for the day. Thank you so much for coming along, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.